Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. This is episode 9 of our Mothership Sci-Fi Horror RPG run-through of the Gradient Descent module. My name is John. I am the warden for the evening, and going around the horn tonight we have...
Hi, I'm David, and I'm playing David, the android.
Hello, I'm Matt. Tonight I play Thulsa Du. She is a scientist.
Hi, everybody. Ted. Let's try that again. Hi, everybody. I'm Ted. Hi, Ted. Tonight I'll be playing Delphonse Hubble, reporting for duty third.
Oh, no.
And he is a...
I'm a Marine.
Okay, cool.
I do not eat crayons.
All right, so we would normally have Mike, who would also be playing a Marine, Rick Sharp, but he is dead to us once again.
He does eat crayons.
Yeah, so he's getting off easy for 2 weeks in a row now, so he's probably going to be in tip-top shape once he starts rolling in again. Okay, let's start us off with logistics. It is, date and time is the 2nd of January, 2125. It is 11:10 a.m. Let's start us all off with a Ben's check. However, first, Hubble, the newest member of our team, RIP to Cromwell Dixon, our teamster, you're going to gain 1d10 bends first before you make that roll. So please roll a d10 and make that your bend score.
I rolled a 4, boys and girls.
4. Very good. Okay, now everyone can make bends checks.
I have to roll above a 4, is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
I wonder if I can pull it off this time. Okay.
All right, I have a target of 11, and I got an 84.
Okay. My Ben's target is a gentleman's 27, and I rolled a 57.
Okay,
so I'm fine.
All right, I've got a 4, and I rolled an 87.
Okay.
Victory is mine.
2 weeks in a row of all clear with bends. Let's see, and then can I get a stress count, please?
Okay. I have 9. Thulsa is rocking 9 stress.
Okay.
I have 16.
Delphonse Hubble reports 3 stress, sir.
Very good. You can see the color gradations and their lifelines there on the bottom of your screens. David is still in trouble.
He's fine.
Looks all right.
Okay. One new policy that I want to do now that we actually had our first death is a question of what happens with new characters in terms of their debt and their reason to be here. So the way I'm going to do it, just to make to cause the least amount of ripples and confusion and varying goals and all that kind of stuff, is we're going to do sort of a it's going to be very similar to the Hold of Ardenpool, which is our previous 114 episode long campaign, where we sort of did like a Ship of Theseus sort of thing. We're going to do a similar thing here. So the way it's going to work is we're going to kind of retcon it and say that you guys weren't the only members of the ISWC 181 on the Dashwood. A whole bunch of members were on there who all got incurred debt on Prospero's Dream to the Stratemeyer Syndicate. So that nebulous, crew of union members are all sort of hanging out on the bell. And they all have the same amount of debt. So anyone who kind of comes in new is just another member from the Dashwood who just joins the team and still has the same amount of debt. Remember, it's not like personal debt. It's all like as a group, you have this debt that must be paid off. It's not like, what did I say, 100 million or whatever. It's not 100 million each. It's like total, right? So that's the way it's going to be. So Hubble, you were on the Dashwood as well. You were just back on the bell, and you had Arcady take you over or something like that, and you met up with your friends after being knocked out with your body halfway draped over a vent, and you're like, oh shit, okay, great.
A bit.
Yeah, of course you were inherited the aftermath of a brutal encounter which saw one of your companions die, Cromwell Dixon, be ripped limb from limb, and much beloved NPC, the second, perhaps, who knows, iteration of Helen St. George also got ripped limb from something that has since been known to be called the Hunter, which is some sort of weird mutant android abomination that spins very thin steel thread wherever it so desires. And touching that thread causes resonance, which basically piques its interest. So it's always dangerous. So you encountered that down on engineering and support, which is level 6, the furthest deep level of the deep. And right now, you guys are in the what is called the emergency heat sink. Let me go find it here. So you had in your harried. This was just David and Dixon at first, but then later David and Hubble in their escape, in their running away and escape, trying to get the hunter off their tail. They entered through a bulkhead door and shut that bulkhead door solidly. Entered into their first 0G space within the deep, which was highly unnerving because there was no purchase, there was no light. So you just basically floated eerily and silently kind of through the void, not really understanding what room you were quite in. Now, the door before you entered it was called the defense laser capacitors. And you did see, like, once you hit the wall that there was like machinery on the walls and stuff like that, but you couldn't really determine what to do with it. But you found an exit, and that exit led you to an equally large lightless space. However, there is gravity, and that one was labeled emergency heat sink. You can the one thing that kind of comes through to you guys, because there is gravity, there's atmosphere here, is that there you can hear the sounds of contained liquid flowing. Let's put it that way.
Makes sense.
And it's rather loud, and it seems not to be coming from any particular direction. It seems to be like sort of ambient and all around. I only say that because you have no frame of reference, because it's completely, totally dark here. All right. Yeah, and there is a very small gangway that sort of goes off into the darkness. You're getting a little bit of light that's coming from the room front. Well, there was no light there either, so it would be completely dark. So who's got let's see, Thulsa, you're wearing a vac suit, right?
Yeah. You guys will be happy to have Thulsa rejoin the party because she has lights on her vac suit. Yes.
Yeah. Also, to clarify, because I'm realizing now that light is a kind of a big deal here now, and so we definitely need to know who's got light and who doesn't. Your armor will detail if it has a headlamp or not. If it doesn't say headlamp, it does not have a light. And I'm making a rule here that assorted tools does not contain a flashlight, because a flashlight is a separate listed item under the equipment.
Yep.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. One thing that occurs to me now that might not be super useful in our current moment, but especially as we've like navigated through something described as capacitors and heat sink, we've seen some boops and bops on walls. I have expertise in computers. I think Thulsa has expertise in computers and hacking, perhaps both. Or
mechanical, no hacking, but mechanical repair and computers.
Yeah. Basic computer know-how, like me as a teenager building a tower, would mean that I'd have a comprehension of what these terms mean, because they're very common terms and they're basic functionality. Yeah. I just say that like as a generic statement, and then like more to the specific as we go forward. I'm just saying it as a reminder to myself, but maybe to Thulsa as well. Certain circuit board arrays, right? Like major parts that you would see on your motherboard or something like that on your computer would be familiar. Certain like server architectures might have, assuming they're not totally alienated via. I'm not trying to be cheesy here. I'm just saying if it were a common structure, we might know what it is. I think it's fair.
I mean, this whole thing is
you have two
machine,
things,
right?
You have two things. You have two obvious clues. You have the name of the room, which is heat sink, which automatically tells you something, and you also have the stimulus of the sound of flowing liquid contained. Yeah. Right. So you could probably draw conclusions about that.
So just as an abstract, I say all that just to say we can't see anything now. The scope is so beyond human scope that it's maybe moot. But if I were to see a giantized version of a motherboard, I might understand on some level the schema and the parts.
Yes, that's fair to say. Yeah. So with Thulsa,
okay. Yeah. Cool. Just okay. Cool. Thank you.
And just before you take your first actions, Hubble, we barely knew ye from the end of the last episode, so let's get a little brief on Hubble. Like like what's his deal? Like what's his loadout in basic terms? You don't have to give every single little thing. But I think trinket is probably important because that's always the most exciting. If you've got a patch or something, yeah.
Well, Delphonse Hubble is a Marine. How he came to have such debt and be in the crew of this ridiculous farce of sure, we're going to come up with $100 million is anybody's guess. But he is outfitted in standard battle dress. He carries a pack of MREs and magazines for his submachine gun. There's a pair of Snake Eyes dice patch on one sleeve there. And his trinket is a pamphlet all about the indifferent stars.
I love it.
And no one cares. And that has been the story of Delphonse Hubble's entire life. Nobody cares and nobody's ever helped him.
Now, Ted, just based on the voice alone, are we sure he's a Marine or not in the Air Force? He sounds like a desk jockey to me.
Well, you in how much trouble now?
Damn.
I'm fighting Roy.
Okay, so
right. You an android, and we always had an android in the unit, and they were always solid stand-up fellas that could be counted on to absorb a lot of damage and get shot at a lot. So we always liked that. So you're all right by me.
They'll never abandon you. That's the good thing. They will never abandon you.
We had a plausible
to a fault.
We had a plausible reason why Rick Sharp was part of the Salvagers Union. So you'll have to kind of think about, like, you don't have to do it right now, but the reason why you are no longer an actual enlisted Marine and you are now in the Union.
I'm thinking it's a case of terrible bureaucracy and mistaken identity. I am still an enlisted Marine. I got shanghaied. That's not the right guy. I wasn't even on Prospero's dream. What the hell is going on?
No, you don't get to be a special snowflake who's different. You were definitely a knowing member of the Union.
I'm a special snowflake.
I think you just never passed your oral exams.
That's probably true.
Okay, so that's the deal. So you have gravity, you have no light, you have oxygen. So you see a gangway that basically is you understand like how it's being supported, but it's pretty narrow, so only one person astride at a time, and it just goes like straight off into darkness. And you got to tell me what your light situation is, and then tell me what you do.
Okay, well, click. It also appears on the gangplank, and she clicks the headlamps on in her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, where have you been? You won't believe what happened.
Now, with her, she's having a little bit of trouble with memory loss, so she's gonna, like, in denial of that, just gonna make like she knew that there was a handoff between Dixon and this new guy. Dixon's fine somewhere. They just it's no big deal. They just little pass of the baton. It's no big deal.
I'm sure we'll see him again, Thulsa, in one way or another.
Of course we will.
What's the range on that light? Can you see a wall, ceiling, or floor with it?
Well, I don't know. I look around. What's behind?
You certainly can't see. The room is vast enough that even though I don't know the specific range of the lamp, it definitely does not illuminate any walls. But what it does illuminate is more the gangway that goes off into the darkness. Okay, and it does illuminate a little bit around you, right, in general. So what you can see is, surprisingly enough, that just about 10 feet off like further on the gangway, on the gangway, is what appears sort of like just at the top range of his light, up above you. And then also below you as well is a huge, massive set of copper piping that goes above you, basically running parallel to the gangway. Multiple sets of it, both on top and on below you, and they're like the most massive pipes you've ever seen, like really big pipes, and they are beaded with condensation. Every once in a while, like a drop drops onto the gangway. And you can definitely pinpoint that the sounds of the flowing liquid is coming from those pipes, and that's why it sort of has that echoing, containery feel sound to it. Yeah.
On the equipment list, it says flashlights have a 10-meter range, so I would guess headlamps would be similar.
We'll do the same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, John, can I I'm sure on this gangway there are several nuts and bolts and screws and such. Can I loosen one? Not all of them.
We're standing on it.
It is unwise.
These pipes aren't affixed to a ceiling or wall. They're free floating, right?
You don't know. It's a massive space. They're just, you see pipes. Yeah.
I'm gonna be very, very quiet. I'm gonna flick the bolt so that it goes past the pipes below us and listen and sort of count how long before I hear it thud on something.
You don't have to take the gangplank apart. Here, I'll give him like a washer from my toolkit.
True. Perfect. I'll do it with a washer then.
Yeah. So I mean, again, that's more of like a D&D OSR thing. It's a very large, vast distance before you a long time before you hear it. But you do hear it like clink against numerous things, and it all seems to be hitting the same sort of thing, which is the copper.
Yes.
All right. So you have a feeling that like the entire vast space is probably filled with these pipes. And I should also say that even in the pipes that are in your light, you can see that they have they curve in some points as well, right? Not crazily, but just they have that very sort of plumb, smooth geometric right angle, but curved joins.
Sure. Well, I hate to say it. One last thing, guys. We have rope, right? No, we have no rope. I thought someone had rope. Maybe not.
I have cord. I have
like
cord,
like paracord.
Yeah, paracord.
Yeah, that's climbing rope. How much?
How much is in that? It's just one of them. 50 meters.
Yeah, I was
50 meters. It would not be a bad idea since they are such large pipes. You could easily walk atop them. Perhaps for one of us to descend and walk on the pipe. Maybe not this minute.
I think it would be a bad idea. They're beating with condensation. They're not going to be stable. And I don't see.
What do you mean by not stable?
You're going to slip.
They're round.
They're enormous. So like the curvature of something that's really large like that is essentially flat at that scale.
I think you're making assumptions about the scale. When John says enormous, we don't know if he's saying 100 meters or a pipe that is 5 meters wide.
I'd say like they're not uniform, but at minimum, I would say like the circumference of one of those pipes is probably like a meter. That's like the smallest, and then some of them are larger as well. A lot of them actually have like parallel, like the pipes are actually like parallel to each other.
Exactly.
So there's like one round one here and another one round right there. So you could conceivably stand atop a flat part of the tube, but the thing is there's no railings.
It would be a buoy situation with a rope around my waist as I'm below them as they progress above me. Does that make sense?
Only the part that is possible. I don't see why.
Because we're in a giant room, vast as the ears can hear. Well, I have a reputation for finding secrets. Why else, Ted?
Okay, fair enough. I think the bigger secret
I don't have to do that right now. We can go explore first, but I think the scale of the room is pertinent, and we are very aware that there are many things established in this dungeon already, like some of the sort of like construction spaces that are built without any consideration of human use, but have functionality, right? So I'm curious that's
100% what this room is. Yeah. It's because there's a minimal consideration for human habitation, and that is literally just this gangway.
The gangway,
right? Yeah.
Yes. So I suspect there's other stuff, is all I'm saying. Now, we don't have to pursue that right this minute, but I think it's a lost opportunity if we don't eventually. Go ahead, y'all.
Well,
go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, thank you. What I wanted to say is, I'm not poo-pooing your plan per se, because there may come a time when it does make sense. I think we've got a perfectly good gangway right now that is intended for us to walk on. If the emergency heatsink is a heatsink for the laser capacitors, these are some big-ass lasers, for one thing. But what I'm wondering is, just so a heat sink is a way to absorb heat or disperse heat from either the capacitor itself or the discharge of the laser. it seems to me that this gangway is going to lead somewhere useful, like a maintenance space, possibly the laser control room even, or better still, back to some other part of engineering, maybe even an exterior space, like, if these things need to vent hot liquid outside the station for some reason, although I suspect that would be, you wouldn't want to vent it, because then how would you get more?
Exactly.
You'd have a problem. But if in a real emergency, there could even be, escape pods or, maintenance craft or something here. So I am speculating, obviously, but I think the gangway makes sense. There's a reason for it to be here.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think we should pursue. Yeah.
So a couple of questions. We've established already that there is like this human, non-human aesthetic in places. Do these pipes look like they were put in place by the human architects of this factory, or does it look like these were placed later at, with weird AI arcane geometry to go off and perform their own function? Or is it
no basis to determine one or the other.
Okay, but if humans were to lay this pipe, it could look like this.
Say it again.
Was that all set up for that bit?
It was totally worth it. Totally worth it.
But it's true, right? Like, humans think in one way, and we've seen that Monarch and the AI thinks and builds things a different way. So, is this basically we should be able to tell kind of?
You're getting a 10-meter sphere of information, and I'm telling you that with this amount that you like, you're just standing on the gangplank, you turn on your lights, this is what you see, and you just you don't have enough information.
I'll say that we also know that. Oh, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I would like to start moving along this gangplank for a couple of reasons. Mm-hmm. First of all, I want to see how much it sways and moves, how much it responds to our movement on that. And once we do that a little bit, 10 meters or something, just to get the feel of it, I'm going to ask everybody to stop so I can feel this thing and feel if there might be other vibrations on this gangplank. Because if there's somebody else on this thing, it would shake the way that our walking would shake.
Like a 7-armed beast of imminent doom, perhaps?
Yeah. One of those.
I love that idea. I just want to add a couple last thoughts. Speaking of the beast, right? We know we're in engineering and support. Pure speculation. We know the location of Monarch's sort of brain is hidden, but we can presume that while laser capacitors might require a lot of energy flow and coolant, as would the most sophisticated AI known to man. So part of the reason I was asking about the pipes is, for instance, in the secret room we found, there was a wall covered in complex circuit panels and boops and bobs, right? We're not going to get back there anytime soon. But a heat sink would come into direct contact eventually with the thing that it is cooling, right?
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I was getting at. Yeah, it might lead us somewhere. Absolutely.
So if there was a guesswork that we could make about where Monarch was housed, it would not be beyond possibility that it would be on this level, near this level. It could even be labeled something other than it is and pitch blackness just as a deterrent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All speculation. I'll stop talking now. I think we should follow Matt's procedure there that I agree with. Yeah.
So are you proposing to go first, Matt?
Well, I've got the lights, so I might as well.
Fine.
So we can see what we're doing.
All right.
Yeah, so Thulsa will, look at this. She's going to keep kind of her hand on the railing.
Yeah.
Just in case there's a sudden drop off or a sudden peril. But she's going to go forward, trying to get this vibe of like how it feels and how it sounds when people are walking on this thing. And then in a minute we'll stop and see if she can sense any other vibrations.
Now, are you intending that David and I should stay still while you go 10 meters or something, or
no? Let's all go, and we'll just all stop at the same time and listen.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you move forward. You move forward a little bit. The gangway seems pretty sturdy, stable. Doesn't really it echoes as your footsteps kind of go down on, especially yours, Thulsa, because you're wearing the big heavy space boots. But as your light sort of reveals more as you kind of move forward, you can see that the gangway actually moves. The gangway actually stops moving straight and actually kind of juts to the side a little bit in order to make way for a set of like pipes that is actually like coming down vertically as well. So you can see that now this kind of confirms the fact that the ability for humans or androids to move safely through the space was a subsidiary. Is that the word? Was
Secondary?
Secondary concern to the layout of the pipes.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, the gangway was kind of placed as needed to navigate the pipes.
Okay.
These vertical pipes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just for safety, Thulsa has 3 chem lights, like the Rave glow sticks. She's going to give one to each of you. Say, don't break it, don't use it yet. But if we get separated, if you fall off or whatever, you'll have at least some light. We'll be able to find each other with that. So
I'll take a chem light. That sounds great.
Just I want them back later. Don't die.
Sure. Okay, so you continue forward. You're following.
Yeah, just as a note, the vertical pipes don't have anything that have been affixed upon them for ascent or descent, like a ladder that was added later or anything like that, right?
No, unfortunately not.
Cool.
And nothing labeled, like arrows indicating flow or temperature indicators, or
no, nothing like that.
All right, okay. Onward.
Okay, so you continue onward. And for industrial scale rooms, unless something else happens, or you tell me you do something fast or slow or something like that, it generally takes about 30 minutes or so to kind of go through an industrial scale room, more or less, depending on the size of it. But generally, that's kind of what you're looking at. So you kind of move through this maze of piping, just staying on the gangway the entire time. That doesn't have any branching or anything like that, and just sort of your vision is often occluded by these giant pipes that are sort of in your way or above you. Sometimes they're like just barely over your head, right, running right over. Sometimes they're like way up above, but they're always kind of joined, right? But where you can't map out like the system of piping because so much of it is just beyond the range of your headlamp. But it's eerie, relatively quiet. So after about, I'd say like 20-25 minutes or so of kind of carefully, quietly, slowly moving along this gangplank, you notice flashing lights off in the distance, and you notice them sort of bouncing off like a set of vertical copper pipes that are occluding your vision of like what the source is. So you just see like the pipe sort of like flashing like in reflected light, and it's almost like a strobe effect, like as if you the kind that you would have like an epileptic warning about or something like that, so it's like a like of light bouncing off these pipes.
Are we able to determine because lights that were carried by people, if there were things in the way, could flash like that? Do we get a sense if we stop still for a moment? I might even like flick my lights off, just like flick my lights off to get a bead on these lights. Are these flickering because there's movement and there are things in the way like pipes, or are these flickering because it's like a flashing strobe or something?
It seems both, actually. It seems like a flashing strobe, but it's irregular, like as if it's the strobe is attached to something moving.
Like a service droid or something like that, maybe a robot cart that's carrying cargo around, maybe.
Okay, and we just see this light. We don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything, no. Not yet. Again, like a lot, like the sound of the flowing stuff is pretty loud. You know what I mean?
Pretty loud.
Not like waterfall loud, but it's just because it echoes in their pipes. It just it resonates a lot.
All right. I think forward is the only way. We don't want to go back. It sounds like there was something bad back there.
Back is bad.
We could also descend to a copper pipe and hide in the dark and see if it approaches.
They want to be.
I don't think there's anything to hide from yet. It's would you say long range here, John? 100 meters?
The pipes that are reflecting light are probably like, I would say, close range.
Okay, so in that case, maybe we do sit still for a little while and maybe be prepared to jump over the side. Is there anywhere where we're at where if we wanted to go get off the gangway, we could get off the gangway? Or are we like in a spot where everything's vertical and nothing horizontal?
No, you could do that, but it would take because there is no like safeguards to the set of pipes below. I would definitely make you roll, and I would say like a critical failure would be basically like insta death, right? Like you'd slip and fall off.
Yeah, I think if we were to do something like that, what we would do is a caterpillar tie, where we are all affixed to a segment of the rope, and then the rope is also affixed to the gangway. Does that make sense, guys? So that.
Yeah.
We basically, the idea is like in mountaineering, when you can't afford to be like fixed into a certain spot, even without, we talked about this with Arnvul a little bit, even without like a top buoy, the idea is if one person slips, the weight of the other two people have a higher probability of keeping that person up, right? Now it's a slick pipe, so, but.
Yeah, and like, what kind of distance are we talking, John? Could we get back to the gangway?
Very difficult unless you had some... Yeah. You can't just do it under your own human power.
Yeah, vac suit is going to be too heavy, I think, to ascend in.
Yeah.
A note too for vac suits, because I was looking into this over the break. The vac suits are disadvantaged to all speed checks.
Right.
Just in case we need to run, it is not going to go well.
Yeah, I would say in that case, I'd rather be on a gangway where I can move.
Okay.
And shoot rather than be on a rope trying to keep someone else from falling when the monster comes up.
So what do? Do you move forward or you just stay here and wait to see what happens?
Move forward.
Okay, we'll move forward with our lights on. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it loud then, because better for them to
see.
hear us coming. Yeah.
Okay. So you move closer to the set of pipes that are kind of blocking your way vertically, that are reflecting that light. When you carefully sort of peer around them as the gangplank sort of like juts around to kind of navigate around them, you see that the source of the light appears to be coming from, blessedly, first of all, a wall. The first wall that you've finally seen, and standing in front of what appears to be a closed bulkhead door is a humanoid figure. Now, that figure is very strange looking because it has what appeers to be a cloak that is being held by one arm, like very dramatically, like a vampire, like around his.
We got a Dracula.
Yeah, so you can see like his eyes sort of peering at you. He has a bald head, like a buzz cut, but and the cloak is sort of draped in front of him. But the cloak is decked with like dozens of strobing lights. So he's got it in front of him, but it's like, and it's just like emitting all these lights.
I'm going to avert my eyes from looking directly at this strobing light cloak, because I think that there may be some correlation between that and a defense against like electronic inputs, sort of like a inducing epileptic fit kind of situation, right? Like,
yeah, it's definitely doesn't. Yeah. It's kind of painful to look at, not in any sort of mechanical way, but it is rather off-putting and very, very strange. Can everyone please make me a fear save, please?
Okay.
And that means that Delphonse and Thulsa, you're both going to make it at disadvantage because David's near you.
Oh, great. Thanks, David.
You're welcome.
Can I throw him off the edge and then make the fear save?
Sure can, just let me know.
I offered to go down to the pipe.
I should have. Disadvantage, huh?
Oh man. Okay, I'm a little scared, John. I rolled a 77 over 19, so I think that would be a critical fail.
Yeah, that is a critical fail. Yeah, so I'm going to say that you would involuntarily like shout out an alarm. And you're also going to take the stress, Delphonse.
All right.
Okay.
So my fear save is a 44, rolling at disadvantage. I got a 32 and a 36.
Wow.
Delphonse Hubble fears nothing.
Nice.
I love it.
And David?
My goal is an 88, and I rolled a 17, so I am feeling just fine. I've seen worse. I've heard worse, at least.
I have a thing for Draculas.
So it's just a little strange, like not at all what you're expecting when you kind of round that pipe, and Thulsa sort of yelps in alarm, and the cloak gets like brandished like dramatically, and the lights go like span across the entire just like the slightest movement of the cloak causes like the lights to just kind of go like all over the place like a disco ball, and it reveals a what you now realize is almost definitely it has to be an android, or else it's like a heavily modded, heavily cyber modded human, because he has very dramatic sort of tailored clothing on that is but it's very shabby, right? It's like torn and worn and old, obviously. But he is the arm that was not holding the cloak, so his left arm is raggedly dismembered at like the mid bicep, and there are dangling wires and cords that are sort of like coming out of it. All right.
Okay.
So he pulls it away, and you see that he has like a slit for a mouth, just like a very like sort of neutral sort of slit for a mouth. But his eyes widen as he sees you, and he says, "Friend or foe?"
Friend, brother.
Yes, we are. You startled me. Yes, we are friends. We are not here looking for any trouble. It looks like perhaps you have had a little bit of trouble. Your arm looks pretty bad. Are you okay?
I am fine. What brings you here? Do you request access to the fuel tanks?
Is that what is behind you? We don't know. We are exploring. So, yes, I guess so. Is that okay? Can we go past you? Is it all right?
It is, if you desire. And he whips his cloak in front again, and it's like you see too that the strobing effect ends, and it's just like a bank of lights that are just like right on you guys, and you're like fully lit up, just
Gotta get one of those, man.
Yeah.
So I want to say fuel tanks for what? Like the reactor, ship thrusters? What kind of fuel?
For ship thrusters, indeed, friends.
Ah, cool, man. And right on. Why are you guarding them?
Well, that is what is required in order for the thrusters to function. Someone must guard them. I should warn you, however, that it is patrolled inside by security androids who do not look favorably upon those who live like yourselves.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Is that what happened? Is that what happened to your arm? These guys?
As much as I hate to admit it, yes. They apparently don't like anyone but themselves to be inside.
So why do you need to guard it if there's guards on the inside, man?
It was what I was hired to do.
Oh, well, that's
Cloud Bank. Secure. So Cloud Bank, whatever the name. He says the name correctly.
The Cloud Bank guys.
What was your commission date, friend, brother?
I can't give you that off the top of my head.
Was it a long ass time ago? That's all I really need to know.
It was during a time when the Cloud Bank was operational.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
And I'm sorry, we're being very, very rude. My name is Thulsa. What is your name?
My name is Khalil Rex.
Khalil Rex.
The lone centurion of the Legionnaire, guarding the tomb of the old ones. Okay.
Did we hear that name before, John? That seems vaguely familiar.
No, new name.
No, okay.
No, I don't.
Khalil Rex. John, setting question here. Does the gangway just go up to that guy and stop?
Yep.
It doesn't go off to the side. There's no ladders.
Nope.
There's a door, bulkhead. Is it labeled like? Does it actually say fuel chamber or?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of like flammable signs and warnings and stuff like that.
And there's no like computer console or equipment or anything we could strip off and take back to the bell and sell.
Negative.
Like that. Okay.
Friend, have you,
man? That thing's awesome. Where'd you get that cloak?
I pieced it together over the years. Just a personal project. Cloudbank doesn't seem to mind.
I appreciate your creativity. Have you had any encounters with a peculiar being? How should I say this? With 7-bladed arms that spindles steel, twine, and lives within the vents of engineering over these many years?
Are you malfunctioning, friend? That seems like utter nonsense to me.
I am not, but I'm glad you agree. It is beyond comprehension. This space we're in, obviously, to intelligent beings like ourselves understand what a heat sink is and all of the coolant that's flowing through. Is there any other egresses other than one down the gangway to our path, our back? Is there anything down at the floor or atop us?
No, this is a very functional room only. There is only the 2 egresses.
And
Right.
in the fuel room, is that just a dead end? Does it go on beyond there, or is that just where it stops? Just the fuel room, and then there's nothing.
The fuel room has another bulkhead door egress that leads back to the more to where the Cloudbank scientists themselves, the Cloudbank engineers would normally have access to that particular area of engineering and support. However, it is locked. But friends, you have come across the most dutiful and helpful employee in Cloudbank systems. That would be the Cleo Rex. And
Is it? Go ahead.
I happen to have the code, should you wish to have it.
I am wearing corporate attire and have a VIP corporate key card. That's my whole thing, right? Go ahead, Ted. You were going to say something.
I mean, your corporate key card is not like an instant, like open every locked door thing. You know that, right? I mean,
No, I understand. I understand. But my appearance as someone who is a dutiful corporate employee is that of a corporate executive. Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I should hasten to add the appearance of a corporate executive who's been crawling in ductwork and hiding in lockers while blood sprays everywhere around the room.
No blood got on me. Listen.
Just through the slats in the locker.
Yeah.
Who amongst the executive class hasn't been privy to the blood spilling of all of their employees for their own survival?
Super pro for sure.
All right. Yeah. I mean, not to belabor it, but I've been told of how wonderful an employee you are from the higher ups. I kind of point at my suit. We've had very few employees with the level of dedication that you have. Certainly, a promotion of sorts is in order, but a key code would be lovely if you wouldn't mind sharing it.
I would be happy to. And he kind of gives you like a 4-digit pin.
Interesting. That was so easy to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tulsa will write it down on her prescription pad.
I say we go for it, man. Even with the androids in there.
Sure.
What, they're going to kill us?
Well, so these two have been subcontracted, low on staff, as you know, to assist me in my exploration of and what am I trying to? What's the word when making sure everything's up to regulation and inspection. With my inspection of these facilities, I think it would be great to have your assistance in the process if you would come along.
Fantastic. I would be happy to. I didn't realize that you were inspectors. You should have led with that. I take pride in the cleanliness of both the emergency heat sink room and the fuel tanks as well.
I can see. Yes.
I would. One slight problem, however, is that the security androids will likely attack unless you have some sort of authority that you can prove. I have no ability to sway them one way or the other.
Sure.
And he kind of waves it like the stump of his arm.
Well, certainly there's some sort of check-in machine or place in which I might show identification to notify the security androids of my forthcoming inspection. I'll flash the key card in front of them and say, I have ID.
That is beyond my pay grade, friend. I'm sorry. I don't have that information of where that room may be if it does indeed exist.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
And Tulsa says, forgive me. I led off with my nickname. My actual name is Rachel Ali, and she'll pull out the CloudBank ID that she pulled off of the sculpture that was in the Minotaur area, and she's going to show it to him. And do you think the security androids would recognize my ID still? Do you think that would be enough to probably guarantee our safety to go through to the other door?
I can't speak to that. They may recognize your ID, but as far as clearance, I'm unsure.
And John, there's not, I'm assuming because it's a bulk code, the answer is no, but we don't see any adjacent vents or access hatches or things that would be used for maintenance instead of the main. Okay.
No, you do not.
Cool. I mean, I'm willing to poke our heads in and see, and then if we need to turn around and leave, we can.
It sounds like a big gamble. Like either the multipass is going to work, it's going to work for one and not all, or it's not going to work at all.
I have 2 more characters written up, so I think we should.
We could give it the try. Just be ready to kind of duck back through the door if it doesn't. Oh crap!
I want to actually ask Khalil. When you say security, are you talking those guys that have no mouths and nose and stuff? And
that's correct. Yes,
give you the creepy look and
heavily armed. Always heavily armed. Yes, very capable. Usually with submachine guns.
Okay, they're not up in the pods. They're on foot patrolling.
No, yes, they are on foot patrolling. Correct.
All right, so maybe we could avoid them. So I think we should try it.
How many have you seen in the room? Yeah.
There are 9.
Oh shit! Is it a really big room? I would assume.
Quite large. Yes, the fuel tanks themselves are quite gigantic.
Yeah. Is it lit, friend?
No, darkness.
Good.
That is actually strange. I must have a word with maintenance about getting the lights back on. I can't actually remember the last time I saw lights working in that room. He kind of ponders that for a second.
Do the security droids have infrared vision or night vision, or they just use regular optics?
They don't seem to have any problem whatsoever in targeting those who should not be inside the room.
All right. Gang, I'm down to try to sneak around. They'll see us before we see them, most likely. Also, I know I'm becoming the person who keeps telling everyone to depart from their vac suit. But if we have any chance of not making an enormous amount of noise, it's going to require not stomping in with a vac suit. So if stealth is the approach we want to take, we might have to leave that here temporarily. If we want to just go in and not worry about stealth and try to charisma our way through, I'm also very down to do that, but I'm just throwing it out there as a thought. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not only that, but the disadvantage on speed if we do need to run.
Yeah. True.
Right.
Very true.
So it's, I guess what I want to do, John, is if we're going to go in this room, that the vac suit's not going to help me armor wise very much. She's got so little health. She might as well be in flip flops and tank top. So she's gonna strip down. But I'd like to. It seems relatively safe here with her jury rigging and mechanical repair. I think that she would be able to detach or at least take the lighting component from her vac suit helmet. Mm-hmm. To use kind of remotely, like she'd be able to unwire it, rewire it, just strap it to her wrist, maybe with the battery.
It'll take a turn to extricate yourself from the suit because it's bulky and multiple piece, and it'll take another turn to jury rig the light. But you definitely would have the ability to do that. Are you okay with that?
Right. I am. You guys okay with the time?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I will do the same thing with the comms unit, John, just because that's our only warning for ghosts in the machine. Because they come over comms before you see them.
Yeah.
So if possible, I'd like to detach the wiring of that as well. If I'm digging into my suit already, I'd like to detach both of those things.
That'll take it another turn.
Are you guys okay with this?
Yeah, man.
I'm fine with that.
Sit around and talk to Khalil.
Yeah, while that's happening, should I try to rappel down a little bit and just look into the void with Ted's help? Since we got 3 turns, right?
Sure.
Like 50 meters is a lot of rope, so
Could lower you down.
just out of curiosity.
If you want to do that in a 3-piece suit.
All right, so,
Listen, yeah.
so you lower down and you alight upon a copper pipe.
50 meters, full length of the rope. It's just a copper pipe.
If he goes the full length
what's your
of the
goal?
rope.
What are you looking to do?
My goal is just to rappel the full length of the rope and see if there's any change in what I'm seeing. Although I don't have any light, so I guess I can't do that. I'd have to turn.
You could wait one turn and take one of the headlamps off the.
That's what I'll do. I'll wait one turn, take the headlamp, do that while he's doing the other comm stuff, and just survey.
Yeah. So it's just more of the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for Khalil while I'm standing there with the rope, and I'm like, "So, Khalil, when's the last time you went into the fuel tank room?"
I don't know. It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah. Goals again. Like, let me know what you're.
What I was wondering is he suggested that the lights have been out.
Yeah.
And he's a little weird, and it's possible he's literally just been standing here guarding it for 5 years. Who knows what's going on.
You get that impression. You get that impression that he's sort of like the one Japanese guy on the island. Yeah.
So he may not actually know what's going on in the fuel tank room anymore. Is what I was trying to suss out.
Possible.
Following up on that, when was his arm severed by one of the security? 5 years ago, more recent history.
Again, he doesn't really have it. He doesn't appear to give you any sort of sense of definite time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's possible that these guys are decommissioned. That wishful thinking, but yeah.
He definitely seems like a little off his rocker a little bit, right?
Sure.
Obviously, a little eccentric.
Sure. Last question I want to ask is if there are any other inspectors or assailants or strange types that have come through here and asked for access.
On occasion, I have met people that are a motley group like yourselves, one or in groups, have asked for access, and I have always granted it if they ask me politely, like you have done.
Okay.
Did
they ever come back?
No. Actually, now that you mention
it. We're going to open the bulkhead door and there's going to be 7 corpses on the other side of it. One last question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oxygen and gravity.
That was my question.
Both.
Okay.
And is there a way on this bulkhead to tell whether it is in fact safe to open the bulkhead? Because there is in fact oxygen on the other side. Like, does there safety lockouts or anything?
No. You mean like a just in case sort of thing, like depressurization all of a sudden or something? No.
So the purpose of an airlock is to allow you to transfer safely from one atmosphere to the other.
This is just a bulkhead though, so there's no.
Right. A bulkhead is airtight, but doesn't do what an airlock does. But on a Navy ship, for example, if you've closed a bulkhead, there's a way to know sometimes.
There's no danger. No danger.
Yeah, there's no danger. Okay. All right.
It sounds like maybe there is lots of danger, but just not from that.
Fair.
Y'all are fortunate. My middle name is Danger. Delphonse Danger Hubble. We're going to do this.
Okay.
Get her done.
And Khalil, you said that you could you would be willing to come with us. You seem like a fairly nice guy, and if nothing else, it will keep you from being bored all the time.
Why not?
Khalil has killed every single person he's let through this door.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to give Khalil like a one of the high five handshake kind of thing. Like, right on. Glad you're with us, Khalil.
I have one last question. which is not germane to anything we can do right now, but I'm curious / floating it as a concept. I'd be curious if two androids can interface with each other and access each other's memory banks with the proper skill.
You guys need a room.
Man, you just met.
That's yeah. Bring dinner first.
Listen, it's just the mind meld. That's all. I'm just curious.
That's what I thought too.
He says that he has nothing to fear because he is an upstanding and employee with CloudBank, and as long as the rest of you are upstanding employees, which of course you are because you're all part of the inspector team, then there should be no issue with the security androids. Quite a relief. Perfect.
I'll start opening the bulkhead.
Okay.
All right.
So he does that for you. He's sort of guarding it, but he opens
a guy.
There's there's no pressure change, so it opens right up after a couple turns, and opens up. So beyond, the first thing you see is darkness, of course, right? There's darkness in front of you, but what you see is that there is a set of metal steps that are made out of the same sort of mesh material that the gangplank was made out of, right? That kind of continue through the door, and they basically go down like a series of landings, like down into the darkness. Down in that darkness, you can see that there is a whole bunch, not a whole bunch, but there's, you would say 9 beams of light that are moving erratically in jerky sort of motions and not all at once. Like the 9 lights are sort of like crisscrossing like all over the place, like on the ground. Okay, like narrow beams, not like Khalil's like strobes, which are like big beams.
Oh, it's the laser sights on the submachine guns.
They're like light beams though, like flashlight beams.
Oh, okay.
So not red lines, but relatively focused white light beams kind of shooting around down in the darkness below, with Thulsa holding your headlamp in your hand, sort of moving it around. Your light illuminates off in the darkness. Huge, gigantic, massive, round silos of solid steel, right? Like just absolutely gigantic thing. And as your flashlight kind of scans across this monstrosity, you definitely get like a sense of like megalophobia, you know what I mean, as you sort of like scan your light across its gigantic bulk. And at one small point on one of those gigantic tanks, there's like a big warning with like a flame on it, right? As you kind of pass by with your light, but there's definitely a sense of vertigo and just massiveness that kind of takes over you as you kind of look at the size of these things. You're like, oh my God, I've never seen fuel that much. That much.
I take out a cigarette.
Yeah.
No smoking. You've got 2 headlamps. I guess? Well, David's got one. I guess now, right? Is that?
I'm going to say there's a headlamp. That's what I'm going to say. Like there's just one.
It specifies on here. It comes with 2 headlamps.
The back suit does.
The back suit specifically says in the little picture, headlamp X2.
Okay.
So there are 2 headlamps. David took one to go rappelling. Came back up. Do you want it back? Should someone else carry a headlamp? I could
have them if you want.
I could tape it to the front of my muzzle of my gun.
Why don't you take it? I'll go without light.
Let's do that. And I'll to make sure my hands are free, John, I'll tape it to my forearm.
Cool.
I've got electrical tape and stuff. I can do that. And I'll make sure that my CloudBank ID is out and showing.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Rachel ID, Rachel Ali, and I can't remember how clear the picture was. I like to remember that it was like kind of smudged with age, so that if I
didn't say anything, it's like at a passing glance, like with someone who doesn't give a shit at all, they'll take it. But any sort of like inspection, it will not hold up.
Okay.
So the lights are to interpret what we're seeing with the lights moving around. You said erratically. Are we looking at like like if we pick one light and watch it, is it sort of like walking around until it like runs into something and then walks until it runs, or like they just totally random? Are they spread out across a large area of randomness? Are they clustered?
A very large area, not clustered. There's, I mean, this is obviously the security androids, right?
Yeah.
And I would say too, like sometimes the beams actually like cross each other, so they would illuminate each other. So indeed, you see those like they are the most like factory put out androids, right? So they're like they look exactly the same, jumpsuits, faceless. You know, you've seen them already, walking around. And when you do see like one get lit up by another one, they are carrying submachine guns, and they do have a flashlight like mounted on the top or on the side or something like that, right? And and they're at the ready, very dutifully sort of making their rounds. But it's not like the game Hitman where you can sort of like press a button and kind of get like their patrol route. You know what I mean? And so, you know what I mean? They appear to be diligently and intelligently doing patrols with no indication that they're tired or bored or anything like that. I was
trying to get not their route, but like you said, erratically. And I wondered if they were malfunctioning, and they're
no, they appear to be doing their jobs very, very well.
Okay.
Whenever you take a good look down there, Hubble, you can also see that that on one of the landings of the stairway down there appears to be a body or multiple, perhaps.
I was going to ask,
that appears to be riddled with bullet holes.
Okay, just to clarify, sorry, John, although maybe Matt noted it, spatially, we have gone through this bulkhead. We are at like a higher gangway that's not floor level.
Right.
We are at like the top of the fuel tanks, the middle of the fuel tanks in terms of
middle,
scale.
yeah. You can't see the bottom or the top of them. Yeah, that's why you get that megalophobia.
And on floor, that's what I thought. And on floor level, this is where we're seeing distributed like through and around the fuel tank. So sometimes a tank might occlude them because they're passing behind it, etc. But they're all patrolling it.
That's correct. Yeah, but they're not in a group, like so they're spread out. And this is an industrial sized room, so they're never like really close to each other. They're like over a vast amount of space. You just see these lights sort of winking in and out as like the fuel tanks obscure them and stuff like that.
So the fuel tanks would theoretically have some sort of latticing or housing, right, atop just the cylinder of containment. Is that fair to assume?
Well, what's the goal?
Climbing up one, like going up rather than going down. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably have some sort of means of getting up and down them. Yeah,
because they would have to yeah.
Okay. So, but this is actually time for our first break, so I'll let you kind of ponder what your plan might be. So we'll take a break, and we will be right back. Okay, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. So one thing that I definitely should have done when I described the actual security androids is that I need you guys all to make another fear check because there does appear to be imminent danger.
And they're scary. At disadvantage. Thanks, David.
We left David behind on the pipe, right? I didn't say I pulled him up. He's down there. All right, David, you jerk. Why do you gotta do this to me? Okay, so my fear save is a 44, and I have rolled
that's a good fear save
and a failure. So I guess that's a failure.
Okay, so you got 4.
Mine is a 19, and I rolled the worst of these is a 48. So I fail.
Okay.
I'll take another stress.
11.
Up to 11.
David?
My target number is an 88, and I rolled a 90.
Oh,
wait, does that do stuff to us if he gets scared?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
No, you automatically get the disadvantage on it because of David just being unnerving in general. But it doesn't help when you actually see, like, David, you're not panicking or anything like that. So maybe it doesn't even like express itself outwardly, but even you sort of like gulp involuntarily when you look at those 9 beams down there and like all of the weaponry that they have and combine that with like the completely bullet shredded corpses that are below you. You're like, fuck, that's not good.
All right. So
I mean, we could turn around
by 1. Increase my stress by 1.
Yes. Increase your stress.
Sorry. Couple thought, boys, gentlemen. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, John, just to reiterate the basic layout of this room. We came in an entrance. There's a winding stairwell going down with landings and turnbacks and stuff going down.
Yep.
And then Can we see across the room? Is there another one to go back up to get out?
You can't see it. It's an industrial scale room, so you can't.
We can't even see this. Okay.
You can't.
All right.
Okay, so
And the stairs and stuff, is it all like that same kind of latticed steel stuff, or is it like solid floor?
Not solid, latticed.
Latticed, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, we are in a very explosive space. We have 9 security guards and proof of them discharging their weapons. Now, I suspect they're carrying MP9s or something like that, which would be a 9mm submachine gun, a low caliber, a lower penetration.
They're armored 29s, actually.
Oh, I misstated their weaponry. So they're not carrying submachine guns. They appear to be carrying shotguns.
Okay, and this is pertinent because penetrating one of these fuel tanks would be very dangerous.
Yeah.
And like a shotgun pellet isn't probably going to do that. So that's good to know.
Does anyone have engineering skill or anything like that? Mechanical repair?
I have mechanical repair. I'm an expert at that.
Tulsa, you get the impression that if the fuel tanks, gigantic, again, you can't see the bottom nor the top of them, are actually filled all the way with fuel. You don't have any reason to believe they're not. Do you think that a detonation here, would obviously wipe out everything living here easily, but it's so powerful that it would likely cripple the entire station.
Yeah, but I gotta say, only a mad engineer builds a fuel tank that can't handle a combat shotgun shot. Like, they should be armored. You're inside of it's one thing to like build a fuel tank on the out on the tarmac at an airport, right? It blows up, it goes up in the sky. In a spaceship, fuel that explodes like that you got to protect it. There's no way we're going to be able to penetrate this thing.
And this is go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just on a psychological level, this is why I brought it up, because if they had something that could penetrate the tank, it would affect their willingness to discharge their weapon under certain criteria that we could take advantage of. However, if we can confidently assume that what they're shooting is not going to penetrate that tank because it's a shotgun, then we won't be able to take advantage of any sort of behavioral armistice. You know what I mean? That's why I was thinking of it. John, what were you going to say, though?
Adjust your visualization of the body's wounds as well to be more like a wide shotgun. Yeah.
Shotgunned.
I will also say that though 9 factory androids with shotguns are a very meaningful amount of force, in a room as vulnerable as this that could destroy the entire station, I would expect, if all of these tanks were full, there to be a more significant threat as a security than like the boilerplate androids. I could be wrong, but it's just something that occurs to me. Not to balk at 9, you know what I mean? But
I want to point out that a combat shotgun, if they shoot you, that is 4d10 damage. An SMG is only 2d10 damage.
But what's the range on that shotgun?
The range.
Combat shotgun is close.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, if we do have to run, that's going to help us, right? Because as long as we can stay out of range.
So, Khalil hears you discussing, and he seems to be. I don't really understand why we're hesitating discussing this. We're all Cloud Bank employees. We should have no problem at all. Shall I hail them? And he gets his cloak ready to go.
One moment, Cleo. The only reason we're concerned is because you said as an employee they still dismembered you, and so I'm uncertain if their computational ability has been maintained.
Well, that's true. Actually, I can't really explain why they were so aggressive towards me. Perhaps caution is the better part of valor. And he goes pink. He actually he fingers something underneath his cloak, and all the lights.
Motherfucker goes visible. He turns them off. I see.
It turns them off. But you get they were so bright that you get the light impressions.
After images.
Images. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Two things I would ask. I want to ask Khalil, just in case they are malfunctioning and we need to hurry. when we get down there, what's the path to the exit? What should we look for? Is it straight across the room? Do you remember?
So he
code,
knows. So he points. It's not like across the room. Like you have to go beyond the fuel tanks. Fuel tanks are sort of in the center of this massive space. There's a whole bunch of them, right? And they're all massive because you're in an industrial sized space. And they have like struts and supports, like they kind of connect them and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, David. Now that I think about it, like yes, there would be ways to sort of clamber around them and on them, but. So he points basically like to his left, like it's like on the left side of the room. So like you could go down and just kind of go in front of the fuel tanks and kind of to your left, and you'll hit the locked bulkhead door.
Two thoughts, gentlemen. One, we can climb these tanks and kind of do our best to cross the room from above, right? Two. Do our best, right? Not perfectly, but with rope and two, we can announce about face, inspection time, show us your medal, kind of like treat it very much like we're authority figures coming to see a presentation, see if they're compliant. That will, I'm saying this out loud, I guess, that would require all 9 of them to run in our direction and ascend the staircase to be in range to shoot us. But it would collect them theoretically in our direction. Now, maybe they wouldn't all come at once. Maybe only one would. But they have to ascend an industrial scale room to get to us, and a shotgun is 15 to 30 feet, and they'd be shooting through grates. So they're not going to be able to do probably any penetrating damage from ground level to us where we are right now, so long as that distance is kept. Which is why I think going up is a good idea. But just bear that in mind, The minute we approach them and announce our presence while we're already down there, we've lost, in other words. So if we want to do a charisma thing, announcing it like a foreman at the top of a factory floor gives us an opportunity to assess in a different way. And you could read your badge number to them, Thulsa, etc.
I thought we were going to try stealth, and charisma was going to be the fallback if they came and investigated.
Sure.
Yeah. The weakness in our plan is right now, one of us doesn't have an idea, right? Well, aside from everything,
Exactly.
aside from all of the aspects of our plan, one of them that's bad is that one of us doesn't have an ID.
All right, I got it.
And I think we should climb the tanks.
String to your ID, and you use it to go through, and then I reel it back, and then I use it again. There we go.
Don't forget to keep an eye on the macro as well. Like, what is your goal? What is your intent? Is it just to get to the next room? You mean
well,
like
it has
why,
to be because
right?
the why is because as far as we know, the minute we about face, we have a certain death via the 7-armed monster.
Well, no, because there's a 0G room back there that we would have to cross, and we don't really know anything about it at all. So
there might be other,
there might be other egresses we could look into with a light. Absolutely, but for the most part, like at least for David, the press ahead is predicated entirely on trying to find another exit way.
Yes, exactly.
That's the entire, which is why I was also asking about egresses in the copper room.
Yep.
Because I'm not trying to get myself into more trouble. I'm trying to get myself to rest. Maybe I'll just take a nap on a copper pipe. Who knows?
So David, was your suggestion, if I get this right, to kind of spider climb using the support structures on these tanks around the edge so that we're close to where he pointed out the exit, descend at the exit as opposed to descending on these stairs?
100%.
Is that basically your
again, massive, huge industrial room? The tanks, would say are like long range away. Like you can't just walk off this platform right onto a tank.
So there's nothing close that we could grab.
No.
I have a harpoon gun.
That doesn't sound like a good plan.
I'll aim for the lattice.
There's no controls on this side of the bulkhead, John, for lights or security or anything like that, right?
No, just operate the door.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there's. I'll say this: there's like light thing, a light bank there, but it's not functional. Like you're, yeah.
Well, I don't even want to touch it. Here's what I'm going to do.
I'll say this. Okay.
I'm going to descend the stairs to the bottom.
Wait. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. So I'm not trying to make life harder on us. A bunch of steel stairs make a lot of noise. You are better off rappelling down the side with that rope than clanking down several flights of stairs.
No, I'm wearing rubber-soled Vibram combat boots. I can get down the stairs quietly. I don't need to make a huge ruckus. I can be careful.
All right, I'm going to watch you do that from a top.
Are you going gun out every time so far? Every time we've gone out with a visible weapon, it does not turn out to be, it's seen as aggression, and it reflects badly on us. Just I'm speaking from experience. Do you want to have it hidden, not in sight?
I mean,
if you're going down there,
it's fine. It's gonna be fine. I've got my weapon with the flashlight on the end. I'm going down to the body, John.
Okay, so you had the flashlight
way down, right?
You had the flashlight on.
Do I need it to climb the stairs safely?
Yes.
Yeah, then I have it on.
Okay. So you carefully go down. You got your combat tactical sort of movement going on, swinging the gun, all that kind of, and you go down a couple things until you're on the landing where there's a couple bodies. They appear to be human. There's like dried blood on them. The interesting things, and I'm going to say that you immediately notice this, Hubble, because you're a Marine.
You bet.
So you understand like what the damage that a certain kind of ammo does to a body, to soft tissue. Yep. So you can see that there are there's some gaping wounds in various parts of there's like 2 corpses there, right? Gaping wound that is consistent with shotgun. However, shotgun is actual shot, right? So like a lot of times there's like peppering action as well, like surrounding the main wound, right? That does not exist. There is no like smaller peppering. I'm not using that word right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the little BBs.
Yeah, the little.
Am I looking at the slug damage?
It looks more like. Well, actually, you want to take a turn to kind of investigate carefully, or you want to keep going?
Absolutely do. This is mysterious. While I'm gonna frisk the bodies and look at the wounds and the whole bit.
Okay, 1 sec. Don't mind me. So you're like, well, that's kind of interesting. That it's worth a closer look. So you kind of take a look, and you see that there is embedded in what you would assume would be a slug, right? A slug wound inside. There's actually you pull out the remnant, and it's kind of gruesome, but you kind of pull it out. You see that there's actually remnants of what appears to be highly condensed steel wool that's embedded inside the wound.
Aha! This is to prevent ruptures of the fuel cell. It's like a deadly riot control kind of shot that won't penetrate a steel plate, but it will definitely penetrate human flesh.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, all I brought was my human flesh.
Yeah, that's what I brought too. But I also brought a shit ton of bullets, and maybe I can threaten my way through androids. If they give me guff, I'll shoot the fuel tanks with my machine gun. But that's for later. Anything on their persons, like, for example, cigarettes, alcohol, ammunition, weapons, porno mags, whatever it is Marines like these days. I don't know.
You know what? I think I actually have like a fun thing for that. Let's do it.
Fun thing. Let's do a fun
while
thing.
This
John.
is happening, I'm watching the patrols ready to alert Ted if they're approaching him.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
I like you want me to roll?
Nope, I got it. Don't
you got
worry. Don't
I got
you
fun.
worry.
You know what's fun, John, is rolling dice. I think that's a fun thing.
Okay, so you find 2 things. One appears to be a comms device that appears to be functional.
I grab it.
Okay. The other thing you find is actually what you assume to be just some scrap of junk paper, but when you unfold it, it was like in their like vest pocket or something like that. You unfold it. It's a grimy, blood-stained, hand-drawn map of. One moment.
One moment.
Oh, well, lucky you. It's a map of level 6. Engineering and support.
That's where we are? Oh, sweet.
You're not sure how accurate it is because it's hand-drawn, but it is indeed a map.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely some blank spots, I'm sure.
So if I compare it to the map that I have drawn here, Does it compare favorably?
Your map is, accurate in the way that you're mapping. Yeah.
Right. Does it show exits in rooms that I don't know about?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that it shows you, but you can find where you're at right now. That is clearly labeled. And it is labeled like fuel, and it says something like highly dangerous or something like that written on it. And there is an indication that there is indeed a bulkhead door that is locked. On the other side of that room is what's labeled locker room.
Oh,
we've come full circle because it's a spherical goddamn station. Fascinating. Okay, that's very cool.
Fuck.
So these two connect.
Wait.
So we don't have to go through this.
No. So I'm sorry, but guys, this John, is there any indication? Well, I'm not looking at it, I guess, but Ted, would you like to look and see if there's any indication of the big scary scythe monsters circuit room on the map? Because now we know it's adjacent, very much adjacent to the coolant and all that we were discussing, and could correlate, as I was speculating earlier, with all of this sort of like cooling and all that stuff.
Say that again, David.
The scythe monster that killed Dixon was guarding a room that was described as having a wall covered in like a vast array of like circuits. Let me see what I wrote. Circuits and like really complex looking stuff.
Yeah.
The likes of which we haven't seen. I speculated earlier, not that is the secret sort of like way to Monarch. I keep wanting to call Monarch Mother, Monarch's brain, but it's a brain-like thing. It's circuitry. It's not like a simple server sort of crud.
To be clear, that's where you first witnessed the hunter come from. You don't know if it was actually residing in that room, but that's where you first spotted it.
That's where it spotted. That's where it was. So my so just to be more concise, because I'm rambling here. I said earlier that though it may be true that the laser capacitors do indeed relate to laser capacitors and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This huge amount of coolant could not just correlate to the operations of the station on a mundane sense, but of a superpowered extra natural AI. And if there is a secret room that's not on the map that you're currently looking at, that this scythe thing was in, that was only accessible as far as we're aware through a vent, right? And we've now come full circle to the locker room, which was exactly adjacent to it. It would imply that that room was also adjacent to the fuel and all this other stuff, right? Because it's a circular station. So I mean, I get
what you're saying. And I think that you're not necessarily wrong. I would caution you to remember that we just went through 3 industrial-sized rooms.
Yes.
And the correlation between the 3 normal-sized rooms that we encountered that thing at, it may not be as one-to-one as you're suggesting. But I like what you're saying.
The circle is those big rooms.
Yes. So obviously, listen, we don't have the time to like detail what every single room is on that map. Right. Just suffice it to say that everything that you have labeled is also labeled on that map, so you can verify that, okay, we're on the same wavelength. I haven't made any mistakes. What's interesting too is that the map is also mapped the same in a similar manner, in a similar fashion in the way that you did yours, in that it's abstract. So the person, you assume this was probably a diver as well, was sort of mapping in the same way that you are, in that they couldn't quite conceive of like how everything's sort of like actually realistically connected, but just like a series of corridors and doors and stuff like that.
Right.
So when David gives kind of posits this theory to you, Hubble, you looking at the map and you see where it's labeled fuel tanks, and you do indeed see that an adjacent room next to the fuel tanks, but however not connected in any fashion, like not like that they wrote down on the map, like no way to get from fuel tanks to it, is one room that's labeled electric grid, and that's connected via a locked bulkhead door to elevator landing. Okay. Basically, what am I saying is it basically confirms David's theory. David is correct.
That the electric grid is connected to the coolant.
That it is
adjacent to it.
Adjacent.
It's to the coolant. No, not to the coolant. To the fuel tanks.
The fuel. Yeah. But I mean, my speculation with the coolant stuff is those are industrial scale coolants that are going through the room and out to other rooms, right?
I'm sorry.
You know, but
I just made it more confusing because I made a mistake. I'm sorry, Ted.
You did.
The electric grid is connected via a locked bulkhead door to a room that's labeled as digestion spray, and there's like danger signs all over it.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a room eats you. No, thanks.
Yeah, there is also the one thing that you notice when you're kind of looking at the other rooms and how they're labeled. It's a pretty big level. There is one that appears to be sort of like not really near you. That there's just one word and it says lair with a question mark.
Huh. Okay.
So, John, I just added digestion spray and electric grid from the map that I was reading. Does that look correct on my map? Is that what you were saying?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and then
is Lair south of this? Is that where Lair is?
Yeah, but south doesn't mean anything, right?
I know, but like on our map, it's the next bulkhead past electric grid is Lair.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not. It's like sort of off in like an unexplored area of engineering and support. But if your unconnected bulkhead door there, electric grid, Ted, connects to oh wait, no, it doesn't connect. I'm sorry. Yeah. Never mind.
There's a layer somewhere.
It's complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on because it's. This is
we can.
Can I just put it? I want to do a quick little defrag topic thing real quick. I get annoyed at modules and of any genre where they're just like there's a map of a part of the thing and it's like okay that's cool but it involves so much work to get that action because obviously like it's a very valuable thing to have but it's like an intense amount of information that you have to deliver. It's impossible to do on the fly. So,
all right, so there's a layer. Okay, so let's take this back to the room. This is useful. So we know that exit goes to the locker room, which could very likely contain the hunter. So maybe it's not worth going down to the floor and dealing with 9 deadly androids.
That's what I'm thinking.
What makes more sense is to go back to the 0G room with lights and see what we can learn from there. What does the map say about that?
The 0G room.
Is it just the
defense laser capacitors room?
Yeah.
I didn't have lights, just so you're aware.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We have them now. We have
now that Dulce is here to save them.
Yeah. So the defense laser capacitor room has a bulkhead door that connects to a room called control room, which I believe that you guys called operator's room.
Operations center.
Operations center. Yeah.
Yeah. It connects to the heat sink. And there's an indication that there is a maintenance access between defense laser capacitor and break room.
Oh, that's that vent that you were halfway out of, perhaps.
There you go. Oh, that makes sense.
Between defense laser capacitor and break room.
Yeah, it could be that vent you were
a maintenance. You called it what?
Like a maintenance, not like a ventilation hatch.
I think that is probably a wise way to go and see if we see any sign of our spider monster.
I think that's good. The only other question I would ask of that map, John, does it show anything at the end of that long corridor that happens that's connected to what we're calling the operations center? Right now it just says long corridor and there's nothing at the end of it because it doesn't explore.
There's 2 things there, right? So one, the short one that you actually kind of looked, you actually opened that door and looked. There was like a depressurization airlock chamber, right? You're assuming, and it can confirm by this map that it is indeed labeled loading dock, and that sure seems just like what who was it? The Romanov company that described what that was.
Romanov,
right?
Helen didn't Helen describe?
Might have been Helen,
dock?
but regardless, like that's confirmed. There's a loading dock there.
Okay.
There is, and then the long corridor does kind of a couple switches around. It's quite long, but it ends up connecting to a room called the manual comms room.
Huh.
Interesting. I have one other thing to note, Matt, because you weren't here, and this would be a great way to absolutely sideline the entire campaign. Um, there was a ship in the loading dock.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether that ship has fuel or not, I don't know. And whether we could heist some fuel out of this room for said ship to have our own ship is another question mark. But we now know the location of fuel and ship, though that might be the Romanov ship, and they might be coming back for it soon. So
speaking of the loading dock too, this also confirms what Helen was telling you about the way to get to the factory, right? Like like one of the two ways, right, was via the loading dock. And she said that there was the loading dock is open to space, but there is also access to a place called receiving. That is confirmed on the map. There's a bulkhead door that leads to receiving, and then in receiving there is also a marker that says lift to the factory.
Oh. And I would think it's a lot safer to traverse from one to the other via a ship we stole than a spacewalk, for what it's worth. But and
this receiving room, it is on this map, or is it? It is not on this map.
It is on the map. Yep. So it's like separated by a corridor between the loading dock and the receiving. Bulkhead doors on either side, but then the receiving also has a lift that indicates like goes up to, and it says, hold on, let's see, where is that? It says it basically the label on the map itself actually says factory. It says level 3 factory, but then it's also says like a little subheader right underneath it. This is all like handwritten, right? It says underneath it says storage.
Okay, but the only way to get to receiving is going through the loading dock, and right now we only have one vac suit for the three of us.
That appears to be the case. Yes, correct.
Yeah, we'd have to close the load. We'd have to use the operations center to close the hangar bay doors, which with our computing skills might be within the realm of possibility, but would also be a very loud action to take. So
if you want to go that route, again, that's only if you want to pick up on that thread of the little John thing.
Yeah.
Or if you have some other reason to go. I mean, apparently there's an artifact there.
Well, I think for now, guys, probably going through the maintenance hatch and exploring to the break room might be a wise path to take,
right? With the goal of going. Go ahead, Ted.
Well, that's fine. That's from the defense laser capacitor room, which has 0G. So there's some challenges there. We're gonna have to meet them. We either go through the locker room or we go through 0G. I'm just saying, just so you don't forget. Like we don't just waltz up to the maintenance hatch.
Right.
0G is not going to shoot us. 0G does not have a shotgun.
0G does not have a shotgun. This is totes true.
Or 9 of them.
And we have ways of tethering ourselves and moving about.
I just want to say it.
And the one thing that
looking at the map, I want to point out that the rooms that I've found on this handwritten map, I've marked on here in red dotted borders to indicate we have not actually been in them.
Sure. I love it. One thing that is unclear to me from this map that we will discover soon, I suppose, is this maintenance hatch or, vent or whatever, right? At some point, if it leads to the bake room, has gravity. The 0G room does not have gravity. Do you think that there's an interim room between the two that is sealing this sort of thing?
There's an indicator on the map that there's actually like a distance that you have to travel along the ventilation shaft. It's not like just like a ventilation shaft in a single wall that separates them, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's distance you have to travel. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say it wasn't actually a room, a maintenance room.
No, it's a
maintenance
hatch. Like not a maintenance hatch. It's just like a tunnel. So right, in the meantime, while you're kind of perusing the map there, Hubble, you do see that below you and a little bit closer to you, now that you've kind of moved down a couple levels, is one of those security androids. You're judging it just by the beam of light that's kind of flashing back and forth. So it's doing a sweep motion, right?
Yep.
Backwards and forwards, kind of swinging around. It never kind of points up, for one thing. It's always sort of like straight ahead of it. But it is obviously patrolling. It's like one guy, and he's doing a pretty regular route that's sort of right near the base. Like he always sort of passes by the base of the stairs. But you have a feeling Hubble, as you're sort of looking at the map and you're kind of taking your time, that you could probably find like an interim where you could scuttle onto the floor and get out of sight. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely like plenty of time to do that. You know what I mean?
I have one more thing to mention to belabor our planning. Sorry, gang. It occurs to me now that, taking the maintenance hatch as an example, that we know that the spider monster seals areas with its steel wire, and touching that wire is an alarm system.
Yep.
So having chased us, there's a possibility that the operations center, the corridor between it, and the break room, even maybe the elevator junction area, have been laced with that wire, at which point we will alarm it of our presence prior to being able to call the elevator, which requires a period of time in minutes or so. So there is it's like a lose-lose. There is a thing where if we went through this bulkhead, if we managed to sneak past them, we would be circumventing that trap and going straight to the elevator from the other side.
But there were steel. I mean, I did listen to the episode, he did leave steel cables in the locker room.
Yeah, but I broke most of them when I ran through it. I had to pierce through them.
More to the point, John, how far did he chase us? Are we aware?
The door.
Yeah.
Like all the way to
the operations center. Yeah.
Yeah. He was banging on the door as we slammed it in his face with a matter of seconds.
And on the other side was the 0G.
Yeah. And we don't know if he eventually breached it either. So if we return to the 0G area, we might find him flying through the air at us, which would be really fucking funny, by the way. But not that we should. But
so lots of different things to think about. Yeah. Let's take our second break and we'll see what they decide to do when we come back.
Okay.
We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Bladder's empty, beer's full. So what do you plan to do here?
We want to go home, John. We want to go home.
Okay,
it's
so you're going to retreat
here.
You're retreating up
dangerous.
The room?
I think so. We're going to retreat back up, and we're going to go back to the safe embrace of the spider monster.
Okay, so so Hubble comes back up to the top of the landing, as quiet as you possibly can. Khalil is a little bit confused. He says, "Are we not moving forward now?"
Inspection is great. Look at these fuel tanks; they're all in order. They look safe
and well guarded.
The security guards are using the appropriate type of safe ammunition for the area. There's no fuel on the floor. Pass inspection.
Well, excellent. And he kind of looks over at David. I really hope that you will report that everything is in good order to the C-suite, and put in a good word for old Rex here, if you wouldn't mind.
I absolutely will, Rex, and I hope to see you very soon. We always do spot inspections, but I know thorough man that you are, you'll never be taken off guard by us, and I will sing your praises to the upper brass.
You can count on me, sir. And he closes the door with a bang, and then he turns on his strobe lights.
And Rex, if I manage to find the parts, would you like us to attempt to bring you repair materials for your arm?
That would be wonderful, actually. Yes.
I was actually going to ask John, with Thulsa looking at that, is there any benefit to him, like any kind of first aid I can do to that arm?
No, because
I don't have one, obviously, right?
He's not damaged. He's not like suffering from like health point damage or anything like that. That's happened a long time ago. So he's basically adjusted to life without. He's like an amputee, right?
Okay, and it's not like stuff's leaking out or sparking.
No. He's long ago. He's just accepted the loss. But you're with your knowledge of robotics. Like if you have the parts, you could see like this is an easy job. You know what I mean? Like you specifically would have no problem at all like doing this in pretty tidy amount of time too.
Okay, yeah. Give him another arm. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for an arm. Why not?
And he would definitely be appreciative. Okay, so you I assume you're not going to try to convince him to come with you, right? You're going to leave him at his post. So you're now in the heat sink. So you got the copper tubing around you, and you're out of immediate danger. And you automatically sort of like, okay, good. Your heart rate kind of drops down a little bit after the door closes behind you. No immediate danger. Yeah. So.
All right, I'm going to put my vac suit back on because it's too bulky to carry, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put it back on. I think it's handy to have these lights removable, so I'm just going to like strap those to the forearms of the suit.
Mm-hmm.
John, I'll reinstall the comms in the suit, but with the lights instead of the headlamps, I'm going to mount them onto my arms.
You want both of them back? You want me to take it off my gun?
You can keep it on your gun. Point is, I'm not reintegrating them back where they were. I'm going to keep them like this detachable, these detachable components, and I'll strap mine to my arm, and I'll let the Hubble here keep his gun light.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, so what do you do next?
Let's head back across the gangplank. We'll say goodbye to our friend Khalil. And
Hi, Khalil.
It was definitely a pleasure, folks.
Any notes on the map about the emergency heatsink room, like that I hadn't noticed before? Anything?
There's one additional note on there. I would say that just says highly toxic. It says.
Oh yeah, let's climb on that. Okay.
When we get into the 0G room, gentlemen, I think it's worth spending a good amount of time grooming the entirety of the room and not just pursuing the maintenance hatch. Specifically because we need to recall that this is a map made by another Delver, not an official map.
Oh, I agree.
Of the entire system.
In particular, I have a feeling like a defense laser capacitor room might have some parts that we could strip and sell.
There might be other egresses. I just think since it's 0G and we can accelerate through it with enough momentum, we can move quickly through it and kind of do a survey with these two lights. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes. So, all right, so you move, you're just going to pass through emergency heatsink following the gangway, right?
Yes,
so
correct.
Yes.
That takes you about a half an hour, and then you reach the bulkhead door, and at this point, the 0G will take over. So you open the door, and again, the vastness of the void sort of opens up before you. There are like the blinking lights that are like they don't illuminate anything, but they're like the indicator lights that are sort of on the wall. To your right and left, kind of go off into the distance. But in front of you is just the void of zero, blackness.
And now that I'm actually in this room, John, and I can take a look at them, are those actually like lasers that can, if they were turned on, could just like target anything in
No,
this?
these are defense, these are capacitors. So they're like functionary parts that seem to support what would be a laser system, but there's no indication.
Probably like on the outside. Okay.
You don't know. Yeah, you're not really sure.
But not in. That's basically the thing I wanted to confirm is that these aren't lasers that make a grid on the inside of this thing that can slice us into bits.
Nope. Okay. But if you mention that to Hubble, who has the map, Hubble, you can see, like, this might be the best way to sort of kind of go about this, is sort of like as things may occur to you, you might be able to like confirm certain things with the map. Like, just ask me questions, basically, right? So when you look at that on the map, the electric grid, right? I told you it has the locked bulkhead that leads to digestion spray, right? But there's another bulkhead door, that has a long corridor. So there's quite a distance to traverse, but it does lead directly to a room that says that's called laser control.
Out of this room,
out of the electric grid. So that was that crazy place that was brightly lit up.
First saw the guy.
Yeah. You guys remember Event Horizon fairly well? I just saw it, so it's fairly fresh. There's a scene where Sam, what's his name? Sam Neill, is crawling around in that very tight space that's like brightly lit with all that circuitry. you
There's a lovely scene with his wife in there too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now it's not that
She only has eyes for him.
It's not that cramped, but it is that sort of brightly lit, like highly advanced, like circuitry all around, like on the floors, ceiling, the whole thing, right? There's like a scene in 2001 that's similar to that too, right?
Yeah.
I believe there is.
Like, he's taking the memory out.
Yeah, he's making the memory. It's like, no, Dave, please. What are you doing, Dave?
Well, there's a probability then if we have a defense laser capacitor room and we have a laser control room, or I forgot the exact wording John used.
Laser control.
Laser control that connects to electric grid. That the 0G room we're in might connect to another room that isn't on the map.
Right, but hold on. The laser control room that you just mentioned does not connect to this capacitor room, does it?
It does not. No, and there's also a very long. There's also a very long corridor that connects it to the electric grid. So it's not like they're adjoining, right? Like you have to traverse.
There's a long distance, but my point is, this is a handmade map from a rando. This is not a schematic.
Correct.
So I'm trying to figure out where we might find other connection points.
Yeah. But anyways, you said you wanted
this room more thoroughly makes sense. There's no guarantee that whoever drew the map searched it, and their numbers or their data might be missing gaps. So but the point is that this room is not equipped with lasers to kill us. The lights we're seeing are on the capacitors themselves, we presume. Is that
little LEDs? LEDs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So is there any way now that we can see the walls? Is there any way to pull yourself along the wall, handholds of any kind, or a grid or cables, something we could use?
Well, you can not. No, yeah. I mean, because you didn't just step out and like momentum's taking you, so like you stopped. You're aware of where you are, so you could literally just kind of push yourself along the wall if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Just
there's none of us, I think, have 0G, right? Dixon had 0G. So I would like to avoid situations where we have to make rolls. If there's like a cable that we can try to pull ourselves along and get a good grip on, that's better than pushing yourself along the wall.
There is none of that. There is hot air that is constantly wafting up. So and you also think too, because of like the level of technology here dotted along the walls, that if you go to town on these capacitors, you're probably going to neutralize the lasers, like the ability for the lasers to function, right?
That would piss somebody off more than
you still really have no idea where the lasers are, right? You saw laser control.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense that they were on the outside as like ship defense. But just in terms of safety, given that we don't have 0G, and I do have my paracord, I do think that we should all tie to each other so that nobody's going to go like spinning off. They get separated like out in the middle of the room.
I agree.
At least we'll all be together.
I agree. And I also, again, just pure speculation, but I want to posit again that if we didn't see any giant militarized lasers on the exterior of this production factory, that the laser capacitor room could be intentionally mislabeled.
Yeah.
When it is in fact,
or repurposed,
when it is in fact the source of the brain network of Monarch.
So what you're saying is I should either shoot all of it or none of it.
Well, I also think we should be cautious when going down, if down is an orientation we understand, because of the heat coming off of that area. If capacitors store and regulate electricity for other sort of devices, then there's a possibility that there's some.
Also be aware that I'm a human being, so I cannot conceive of every aspect of the mega dungeon.
Oh, of course.
So when I describe the exterior of the deep, I'm not giving you every single possible detail, right? So
100%.
Just keep that in mind. Now, if you say like next time we're on the exterior of the deep, I'm looking for this specific thing. Is it there, John? I can then answer your question.
No, 100%. And I realize that it may literally just be the laser defense grid. I'm just speculating because the one thing we do know is that the location of Monarch is secret. It's a floor that is not accessible in ways that we know. So
Right.
I'm just I'm pressing against the edges of the line.
Yeah. No,
So let's do so. Let's carefully, like with handholds tied together. Let's go up.
Sure.
Right. Let's go up. Let's explore around. Right.
Well, here's my question for you. We can just make this really easy. The map is pretty indicative. So you have a definite room that you know where the door is that leads back to the control room, right?
Yes.
However, there is the maintenance access, right? The ventilation thing, which you were not aware of before. Do you want to find that? Is that your goal? What is your goal?
Our goal is to see if there is any other non-mapped egress, because this is a random person who may not have found another exit.
Okay, that will be almost entirely random because you have no 0G skills, yet you're operating in 0G with minimal ability to sort of steer yourself.
This is why I was hoping to follow cables.
Yeah, but there's nothing, unfortunately.
There's nothing
So
there.
it's like just sort of random, and it's a huge room. It's a huge expanse. So kind of looking for interesting things in this room is a very difficult task to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's at least worth knowing where that maintenance hatch is. I don't think our plan is to go through it right now, because we're talking about is going kind of back the way that we came, so that we can go and try to connect to the loading dock and receiving. But it would be very, very good to see that maintenance hatch, to know where it is in case that we need it and how to get there. So if you guys, it seems like we're in agreement that we think it would be worth it to skirt around in this room, around the edges to find that maintenance hatch, so we know where it is and know how to get to it if we need to, but then continue back to the bulkhead door that we entered into this room in.
It's also possible that there's symmetry. Like if the maintenance hatch is very like obvious in its like demarcation or like the nature of the architecture around it, that's a good bit of information for us to have. Yeah.
Okay. So again, this is
I
super
agree.
difficult.
I'm in favor we find the tunnel to start with.
How do you plan to go find that tunnel?
So the map is indicative of where we should start looking.
No, it's abstract. It just says that there is a ventilation shaft. Yeah.
I thought you just said it was indicative. Okay.
If there's no way for us to,
assuming that they recorded it in a roughly, oriented fashion, it's on this wall rather than that wall. So let's start with that wall and push along the wall until we find it.
If we stay horizontal and not drift up and down by following along the wall.
Yeah. So what do you do about up and down?
Flashlights. If we see it, we see it. If we don't, we eventually end up back at the bulkhead to operation.
Like, are you asking how we keep from drifting up and down, John?
No, I'm just okay. I'm not trying to be a dick and belabor it. It's just such a monumental task. Like,
I know.
It will take like a long time, with an element of randomness. Like I basically gonna roll like a very large die to see how long it'll take you to actually find that thing. Are you okay with that?
hold on. We can think through this in a way that is.
Well, they found it somehow.
The best way to find out what the maintenance shaft is to come as to access the maintenance shaft from the break room, right?
Yeah.
That's the obvious way,
Which is that's open because you were in it. Yeah.
So but if you want to take the time, that I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying it's an extremely time-consuming task. Not necessarily dangerous, but just very time-consuming.
Well, here's a thought on that. One reason not to spend all that time doing that is none of us have 0G. If a random bad thing were to happen here, it would have 0G, and we would not.
Sure.
And so we would be at a significant disadvantage. We could just push against the wall and we'd fly straight across.
Right. But I do want to distinguish here. I think we're getting, sorry to be annoying. 0G as a skill is implying a level of aptitude and acuity as in like a combat scenario, not astronauts navigating a space station, which all of us would be able to do. So basic navigation through an industrial space is not something that requires 0G as a skill, because it's something that all of us will have done.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you don't necessarily have the tools to to work with the physics. Like, you understand the physics of it. But I don't know if I'm impressing upon you the scale of this place.
It would take a long
totally
time.
are.
No,
You totally
I
are.
understand that it would take a long time. I'm just saying that like the dexterity component is not the concern here because we're not trying to shoot our submachine guns and do somersaults through the air while on the exterior of a ship, right?
So
not what he's saying,
listen, we're wasting time. What I'm saying is that I don't need any further explanation of how you go about doing it. I'm just saying that regardless of what you're saying, it's going to take a shitload of time. Yes. So do you want to take the time and do that, or do you want to just go back to the control room? That's all I'm asking.
That's the question.
And what
I vote for. Yeah, go ahead, Ted.
What I'm proposing is that if we follow the wall, roughly according to this map, like it's probably on this wall, let's follow the wall back towards the operations center. If we see the maintenance hatch, great. If we don't, well, we didn't see it. We end up back at the operations center, which is the only other option we have. And I think what Matt was saying about the 0G skill is it would be relevant when something bad happens.
Yeah.
Which, the sooner we get out of here, the better
less likely that is. Yeah.
The less likely that is. So
the practical approach that we would take in a scenario like this is going to a corner of the room so that we have a juncture point up, down, left, and right, and moving from that in a direction roughly of where we thought this might be. If the maintenance hatch is anywhere, I don't think it would be in the center of a random mile-long room without a significant amount of the indication. It would probably be near a surface juncture. Now, like John said, it's random. It's probably not worth us doing all that. That's fine. But I'm just saying it because we're not like combing the surface of a moon here. Right. This is a geometric industrial space and time is required. But,
Yeah, but we can orient
ourselves.
Very big space with a very small hatch.
Yeah.
We just head towards the operations center along the wall. If we see it, great. We don't.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is we should leave. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll say this. If you circumnavigate the room, it's going to, let's see, normally take, I'm going to say it's going to take about 6 turns, and just kind of staying on the same lateral level.
Yeah.
Even scanning up and down, you don't see it. So you come a full circle after 6 turns.
We were only trying to do half a circle, but okay, we've done the full circle. That's fine.
So at that point, do you want to continue searching?
No. Let's kick off and breaststroke across to the where the bulkhead should be.
Okay.
But I'm confused.
You're there now, though. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're at the door, basically. I'm just gonna call it like rough 6 turns. You have looked at this level basically the entire way around and have not found the maintenance hatch, but you did find the egress back to the control room.
Okay.
And do you go back through it, or do you or do you continue to search?
Was there a window?
Window or no window? Yeah.
I can't remember what I said.
Then there was a window, which I looked through.
I really don't remember, but
I'll listen at the door, John. I'll listen at the door.
There's a window. There's nobody beyond the window.
Is there any wires in the room?
No.
Okay, let's open it up.
Okay, so you open up the door and you are back in the control room. So operator chairs, right? Camera feeds that showed like the loading dock, right?
Yep.
That shows that craft is still there. It's very small, very odd looking. It doesn't look like it's obviously not meant for long, deep space travel or anything like that. But it's also very sort of like utilitarian and doesn't really have like wings or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like it's very sort of, I don't know.
Like a construction sled rather than a
space forklift
capsule.
Something like that. Yeah. Something like that. It's enclosed. Like it's obviously something that like a crew could be in, and be safe. But it just looks to be utilitarian.
So if we're looking at a control or cameras, anything about the loading dock, can we see any indicator that the loading dock is in fact pressurized or not pressurized?
Loading dock is 100%. You saw this first time is open to space.
Oh, from outside we saw that.
From this room, from the camera feed, you can tell that.
You can see it from the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you open the door in this room that leads to that small corridor. that ends in like an airlock chamber.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the situation with the spider threads in this room, John? Are there a lot? Are there any? Are there none?
There's nothing. However, on the ground, you can see that there is a slight small trail of pseudomilk on the ground, and it's leading out the room into the corridor that connects this room to the break room.
I did shoot it.
David would have seen this. Did the thing seem to bleed blood or milky blood when it was hurt? Because it did get hurt.
Milky blood.
I didn't see.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't. I was behind a locker.
You saw it chasing you.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems to have left. We don't hear anything. Obviously,
You don't hear anything.
I want to make sure the bulkhead to the long corridor is closed.
Bulkhead so that's just a normal door, but it's closed.
Okay.
So there's 3 normal doors, and then 1 bulkhead, which you just came through. Bulkhead leads to the capacitors. The other ones lead to, they all lead to corridors, one way or the other.
Okay. Can we? Thulsa would like to look at the operations center to see if there's a way to close the space doors of the loading dock and pressurize it. Is there a
no, so there doesn't appear
go?
to be anything like that. And looking at the camera feed too, you can see that it's just like a vast opening, very very similar to like the reception loading dock that you got dropped off on, right? But much more, much less inviting, right? Like it doesn't, there's almost no accommodation for humans on this thing. But it has, if you look at the control panel, however, Thulsa, you can see that you can obviously operate the camera feeds, so you can move the cameras around at a slight angle, right?
Okay.
Pan and tilt and all that sort of stuff. But there's also, there are controls for unlocking what is labeled as it says auto tug craft.
Oh, okay.
And hold on, where is it here? And there is another button that actually calls a cargo lift.
Okay. Well, that we definitely want, because that would get the lift there. John, I'm not hopeful because you said that there doesn't seem to be too human friendly, but if I pan that camera around in the loading dock, and maybe there are other cameras, I don't know, but my goal is to see if there are lockers or supplies, if there could possibly be other vac suits or lockers or things where there might be other vac suits for people.
Not that you see. However, you do recall when it kind of pops in your mind that there is a depressurization chamber that separates this room from the loading dock. So if there would be vac suits anywhere, it would likely be in that chamber.
Okay.
The panning the camera around, though, it does give you an idea, and this also would correspond with Hubble's map. So there is the exit space, right? So there is large blast doors on the loading dock, and there's also let's see, 1, 2, 3 separate bulkhead doors as well.
Okay, so there are places to go.
In addition to the airlock chamber.
Okay, and
when
from
you say
the
airlock chamber, you mean the depressurization chamber?
Correct.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and I can see the status of that pressurization chamber now. Like I can see if it's pressurized or not.
Yeah, there's probably a panel for that. Yeah,
right. It seems like it would be because
seems operational. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would want to press whatever controls that would make sure to pressurize that.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all ready to enter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
While he's fiddling around with all the cameras and things, I'm just going to kind of toss the room. There's like look under chairs and tables, and are there lockers or cabinets or anything in here? Just generally search it.
Yeah, not a lot. Yeah, sure. I would say like that in combination with Thulsa fiddling with the controls would take a turn, but you don't turn up anything interesting, unfortunately.
Thulsa, why don't you? Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you guys know it puts you squarely at 2 p.m.
Thulsa, you have computers and hacking. Why don't you? It's an operation.
I do not. I don't have hacking.
Just computers.
Yeah.
Okay. With computers, I'm going to attempt, because it is the operations center, to investigate whether I can find a schematic of the entire floor on this computing system.
You can you don't even have to roll. It's a very self-contained system and doesn't have access.
Doesn't have it. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's not even like you can't even like. There's not even like an interface that's like that points you to like a security blocked part. Sure. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to hack really. It's just just those very basic controls. Yeah. It's totally contained to like operating the loading dock. That's sort of like what it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no cameras for receiving. Just the loading dock.
No cameras for receiving, but you have a feeling that those large blast doors that you see that are shut lead to receiving.
Yeah, that was kind of
and that's likely where the cargo lift is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just so that we know that it's there. You mentioned that there was a call button for the lift to loading dock. So I'm going to call the elevator to the loading dock level where we are, just in case. Like we don't even know how we're going to get there, but I want to make sure it's there.
When you do that, when you call the cargo lift, you can see through the camera feed out in the loading dock that there are a sequence of emergency lights that are near the blast doors, and they're like red sirens, but you don't hear anything, obviously. But those start just spinning around, like then the. I'm trying to describe because it would be mostly like auditory, but you're not hearing anything. So after a while, though, the red lights become steady and then they wink out. And the moment that they wink out, the blast doors are like a freight elevator thing. So they're cut like horizontally rather than vertically, right? Okay. And then they basically, they open up, and they open up to like a really big lift, I believe. Let me double check. I could be completely describing that wrong. It's how I would like it to be.
Stormtroopers on the other side.
I'm sure there's a xenomorph in there wearing a Ripley's jumpsuit and waiting for us.
I was right, actually. So it does open up and it reveals a like the entire thing, and it's like an industrial scale lift, an absolutely massive lift. Like you could put like a spaceship on the thing. Like it's huge, it has like all sorts of safety straps and that are just sort of dangling on the walls and everything like that. But nothing's on the lift.
Okay, cool.
That's good. That's good. I'm Matt.
Also going to unlock the auto tug craft, just in case we have to do that from here. So that if we want to use that,
Question: what are you unlocking? Are you unlocking a hatch, or are you is it locked to the deck? And if you unlock it, it's going to drift away.
It's locked to the deck, if I recall.
Yes, correct.
That's what I would do. It's not a hatch thing. It's
one of us needs to be in it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking the lock is, like this, the safety thing. If you disengage the lock, it's still like parked there.
It should be.
Again, like 0G. Sure. Yeah, 0G, like unless a force acts upon it, it's not going to move anywhere.
It's just going to stick around.
I know, but I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page about what you were actually unlocking.
Is that what you want to do, Thulsa?
I do want to unlock the clamps.
Okay, yeah. So there's big metal clamps that kind of keep it onto and those like basically retract in 4 different parts. That's basically all that happens. The craft just sort of sits right where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will, if you guys are ready, I mean, I will go and I'll close my helmet just in case, and I'll go into closing the bulkhead door behind me so there's that safety. I'll go into the airlock chamber like the depressurization chamber, to look in there and see if there are any other vac suits for these guys.
Okay.
I think David needs one. Might as well, right?
I need one.
I have one that I left in the bell.
But you know,
But
to
not
have one
right
now.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that short little gangway that leads to the chamber, to the door, and you open up the door. You're in the depressurization chamber itself. Again, it's pressurized, so it's fine. All the controls to like depressurize, you know, all the warnings and all that kind of crap. The first thing you notice, because it draws your eye, is that the door that leads to the void, that leads to the loading dock itself, is heavily scratched. Okay, like things were clawing at it on this end. It doesn't appear to be any danger of depressurization or anything like that, so no worries. But it just looks like something scratched it a lot. But that kind of sends a shiver down your spine. However, you immediately get in a better mood because there are a series of lockers on either side of the depressurization chamber, which are open, and there are 6 vac suits.
Hey!
In those lockers, you can, if you, assuming you're taking a turn to sort of investigate, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. There, 4 of them appear to be in good shape. The other 2 are punctured. They could be repaired with time and tools, but they are not viable right now.
Okay. Well, they're bulky, and I don't want to carry them around really so much. So I'll get the 2 functional ones and bring them.
There's 4 functional, 2 non-functional.
Oh.
You have the ability to only carry 1 because they're big, bulky things. You know.
Okay, well, I'll bring 1 at a time. Yeah.
You don't need to bring them out. You're in an airlock. We could come in and get dressed right in there.
Yes. You could.
Okay. I mean, as long as it seems like, you know, the readouts that we were getting and the operations are real, and they're, you know, it looks like it's fine. So yeah, she'll wave you guys in to put your suits on.
Okay.
Cool.
So you take a turn to put your suits on.
With the SMG on the outside, bro.
Okay.
That can't function in the vacuum of space. Sorry.
Can.
Okay, so just as a little bit of flavor, maybe it could be useful. I'll just let you guys know. Thulsa is wearing a heavily soiled at this point, likely bloodstained.
And other stuff on the inside.
Thelema inscribed and designed a vac suit. David and Hubble, you guys are donning an older model Cloudbank branded vac suits. So like the aesthetic of the different kind of the vac suits are wildly different, right? You know, Thulsa's yours is a little bit more modern, and your guys is a little bit it's cleaner but more old fashioned. Okay.
Good way to look like Cloudbank employees to androids.
So yeah, you guys are all like suited up. You turn your comms on, go to set your frequencies for communication. You got your visors down, like, so you guys look like spacemen right now. You're doing your thing.
Cool.
Exactly.
No, we have to talk like this now. Over.
What do you do?
All right, so let's set the pressurization cycle so that we can, you know, depressurize and then open the door.
Go to the loading dock.
Okay. All right. So you do so. Depressurize. Right. You open the airlock door and you step out into space onto the loading dock. Right. Just silently kind of moving into this vast space that's sort of above you. You immediately get vertigo as you kind of look out into the vastness of space. And you can see, so there's emergency lighting, right? Basically red in various parts. There are 6, as I said before, like Maersk style rectangular shipping containers that are strapped to the deck. And they're labeled with kind of faded. Well, they're probably not faded. Very clear. Like instead it says Maersk, it says Cloudbank. Across the whole thing. So you've got the egresses that I told you about, the exits to space, the open cargo lift, the auto tug craft, and these 6 containers.
By the way, guys, because I was looking at the gear, and I know there was discussion when Helen was talking about it with radiation risk and the hazmat suits. The vac suit has radiation protection. It's listed on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we don't need the hazmat suits if we have vac suits for that particular thing. Just FYI.
I mean, hazmat suits have more. Like they protect you from more extreme radiation. From
I don't think that's explicit in the rules, is it? It's just listed as radiation protection.
I don't think it is explicit. And I mean, I've watched what's that show on Apple that's really good? For All Mankind.
Yeah,
like the radiation coming off the solar ray shit is like no joke. At least
in real life, an astronaut suit is protecting against more radiation than a hazmat suit is. So that should be it.
Right. I just thought that I had read it. But yeah, it's fine.
But yes, it would serve your purposes for protecting against radiation.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So we're almost done here. Is there any last minute thing you want to do before we quit in the loading dock? Or
one thing to note, I do think that we ought to, like, since none of us are great at zero-G, let's tie again ourselves together using the paracord so nobody spins off into space forever, because that's horrifying.
Okay.
And I think we should go check out that tug.
Yeah,
that's potentially a ride, our own ride back to the Bell or wherever we want to go.
I like it. I was trying to think of a good like visual because of our like industrial scale room conversation on the maintenance hatch. I think it's worth discussing. Like the sliver, I'm going to use a couple cans and a piece of paper. The sliver that our floor exists on of non-industrial scale rooms is this piece of paper, right? Maybe one of them is a dice, right? If these are the industrial scale rooms, for there to be any connection, right, via a maintenance hatch to items on this sliver of paper, that hatch would have to exist on the same cross-section as the other egresses, unless the maintenance hatch did hundreds of meters of vertical spans, right?
Yeah.
Which we couldn't traverse. So no, we could no longer traverse that unless there was like an and also worth noting, the scale of some of these industrial spaces may not certainly bridge 2 floors of the station in height. If
I have wondered about that actually.
So that's something that the reason I brought that up when we got all minced in our words and we were kind of talking over each other, the reason I brought that up is because that spatially is a very significant thing for us to consider. The logical egresses, there's no way the maintenance hatch is up here if it leads to here. It would take us days to traverse one to the other, and the verticality would make it basically impossible to a human being. So it would have to be on that sliver on some level, which would hyper concentrate any searching we do for these sorts of things. But also there may be other floors, right? Ways of getting to different areas by going hyper vertical. Just a thought, but yeah.
Okay. So I think we need to leave it here. What was it? What's right?
I wanted to just clarify the loading dock, exit to space. There's a giant elevator, and you said there are other exits off the loading dock.
Yeah. There are. There's the cargo lift. There's and then
the cargo lift is the giant elevator.
3 different bulkhead doors.
3 additional bulkheads. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll explore the loading dock next time. Sounds good.
Oh yeah.
What last detail, John? I think we can sneak this out. Looking back, are there scratches on this side of the door as well, or are they just on the?
No, only on the other side.
They're trying to get out.
Okay, cool. So good job, guys. You seem to have gotten some exploring done.
Oh yeah.
And we'll leave it there.
We didn't die. Yeah.
All right. So that was episode 9 of Mothership Gradient Descent. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, watching, and or listening to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Don't forget your solemn duty, which is to like and subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell icon, get notifications every time we publish new material. And if you have a few extra bucks, hook us up with a Patreon subscription. You will get exclusive access at any paid tier to our Return to Dolmenwood campaign, which is exclusive only on Patreon. You get a couple of extra bennies as well, including access to some secret channels on our Discord server, which is otherwise free to join, with lots of fun people on there discussing things at all hours of the day. Thank you, as always, to our patrons, our explorers, our delvers, and especially our conquerors. And super special thanks to David for doing the overlay, the artwork, and the animation for this stream. Killer job. And to our friend of the channel, Helrude, aka Hank, for doing the original composition for the opening music. So thanks, Hank. And as always, we always read aloud the conqueror names, and that privilege goes to Matt tonight. Take it away, Matt.
Yes, I would like to welcome our new conqueror, Bren Kneecleaver, and then regular thanks as always to our conquerors, Sorcerius, Crayon Box, Oxian, Inhabitants Against Coban Exploitation, Erica, David's Evil Twin, Dogleaf, Mike Butts, John Bocek, Scott Fournier, Sophia Pang, Carl Stephenson, Necrotic Gnome, Derek B., Ted is my goat, Eric Manley, Todd Jeffcoat, Tyler Hackenberg, Christo Lute, Julian, Jofo, Brutes Monkeys, Joshua Owens, The Mighty Martian, Christopher Bishop, Banana Hammock, AJ, Michael Sauer, Adam Lovelace, Desiree Marcel, Grizz Loves Games, Dustin Reedy, Benjamin, King of Zoops, Rock of Sages, Arcane Lane, MP, Todd, Hex Brawler Jake, Steve, Jeff Marino, Alan Barton, Robert Kirkland, Eric Tsunami MD, Samuel Dillon, Yesterday's Glory, Mike Small, Richard Barton, Isaac 2D10 plus 25, DTL Spencer, James Boyle, Ted the Tedding Teddy Bear, Doc Jones 73, Chris Loricella, Jackson Bates, John Hooker, Mordrew, Zachary Hall, Saps. Now it's time for the Davids. Papa Bear DM, Zach Shiflett, Mercury 605, Ruben K, Dar Jr., Procyon, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Kessenberry, John and La Logan, Kobrowskis, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, Trivlock's Ghost in the Machine, ooh, Nick, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Bouchareb. Hopefully I got that one okay. Bouchareb, sorry. Jimbo WA, Ted Gast, Andrew Schroker, Adam and Nora, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabriel, Chongus, those ass Hexbrawler twins, Arno, Iona, Michael Waller, Mother of Romulus, Han Dandler, Summon Toast, Too Rude, Too Ishvan, R. Cabral, Dungeon Heart Adam, Scott Earsley, Mechjack, Kick Maniac, Dire Grew, Tom Eric Garrettson, Matthew Mattis, Mads the Danish Matt, Honorary Matt, Matt Walsh, Matt Mason, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thanks to everybody so much.
Yes, thanks to everyone. We really do appreciate it. And everyone enjoy their week, and we will see you next time. Adios.
See you later. Thank you, John.
Thanks as always, John.